Hello everyone, and welcome to this video tutorial. Throughout this video we will be going through the processes of learning how to set up the laser cutter, the laser engraver and the 3D printer. Firstly, we will go through the laser cutter and engraver and go through the configuration of the settings, the high resolution imagery and the machine maintenance. The program we will use for our design is CorelDRAW, and we will use the GCC X380 laser cutter and engraver. Once you are in CorelDRAW, start a new job and input the paper dimensions and DPI. Ensure that the paper size matches the timber's dimensions. Use the text tool to insert some text. Select your preferred font and size. Reposition the text to your own liking within your paper dimensions. If required, you may increase the distance between the letters. Search for an image that you would like to use. Select File and import the image you've saved. Double-click the image to optimize. Select Trace Bitmap, Outline Trace, and Clip Art. CorelDRAW will optimize the image automatically and keep the original file. Notice that the image on the right has a much higher resolution. Delete the old image and reposition the optimized image to its final location. Save the file before going into print settings. Make sure you select the X380 as the printer. In the printer properties, ensure that the paper size is identical to your timber's dimensions. Under Advanced, make sure to click Center Engraving and use bottom to top. It will be easier to identify any errors. Under Pen, select the speed and power as a percentage. Select raster or vector images or both. I recommend deselecting autofocus. These two pieces here are excellent examples of raster and vector imaging. The images and the text on these two pieces are rastered into the surface of the timber and then vectored around the edges to give it the shape. Always use Print Preview before selecting Print to ensure everything is laid out correctly. Once you select Print, the job will now appear on the GCC X380's control panel. Before printing, the focus sensor must be calibrated to be approximately 6 mm above the surface of the piece. The laser must be positioned in the center of the piece, and you are now safe to begin engraving. Following the manufacturer's guidelines, it's good practice to give the bed and grid a deep clean every academic year as it becomes discoloured due to the laser cutting. Mirrors attract debris, therefore it is important to clean them regularly to avoid permanent burn marks. Use lens paper and apply lens cleaner. After a moment, pull away the paper and allow the mirror to dry naturally. Remove the black cover carefully to expose the focal lens. The lens can be cleaned with a cotton swab and lens cleaner. Ensure to clean both sides. For the next part of this tutorial, we will start from the basics for 3D printing. We will first create a geometry within SolidWorks. We will then upload our geometry and edit it within the Cura software, and then finally prepare it for 3D printing. 3D printing is an excellent resource that you can use in the classroom. You are able to print intricate objects such as this chess piece here. You can print geometrical shapes such as this bowl here. And on a more complicated level, you are able to print objects that are able to interlock with one another like this. To begin the 3D printing process, we're going to start by creating a very simple geometric shape on SolidWorks. Once you have finished creating your geometric shape on SolidWorks, it is imperative that you save your file as an STL file. Once the STL file has been saved, you're going to open up the Ultimaker Cura software and upload the STL file. Once the geometry is uploaded onto the Cura software, it may be in the incorrect orientation. Click on the geometry, head to the left side of the screen, click Rotate, and then using the red circle, flip it to the correct orientation. The next step is to go to Print Settings and input the profile height. This relates to the distance between each layer that's printed. Once the height of the geometry has been determined, you can move on to selecting the thickness of the walls. When the wall thickness has been determined, You can minimize that option and increase the option for the infill. I would recommend having the infill density at 20% and having the patterns as triangles. Infill is a fundamental feature when it comes to 3D printing. Take this phone amplifier for instance. We can see that at the base of the phone amplifier it has been infilled to ensure the structural integrity of the piece once the 3D printing process has been complete. Heading back into the Cura Ultimaker software, click on Slice in the bottom right hand corner. This will determine how long it will take to create the 3D piece and how much material is going to be used in the process. You may also hit Preview. This option will allow you to see each of the layers one by one. Using the column on the right hand side of the screen, you can see each of the different layers. If you click on the play button at the bottom of the screen, it will show you the path that the 3D printer will take in order to create the piece. Once you are happy with all of the settings, make sure to save to disk using a USB key. Insert the USB key into the Ultimaker 3 and select Print. Before printing, the printer will spit out a little blob to clear the funnel. The printing will then commence. Sometimes the 3D print may not stick very well, so you may use a little bit of glue to create a little more adhesion. If this is done, a paint scraper may be used to remove the 3D print. The head of the 3D printer heats up to a temperature between 200 and 250 degrees Celsius in order to melt the filament to create the three-dimensional object. It's advised to clean the nozzle every 20 to 50 hours of printing or when switching materials. And that covers everything you need to know about the laser cutter, the laser engraver and the 3D printer. Thank you very much for watching this video tutorial and have a great day.